Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Machiavelli's words crackle like lightning, a reminder that perception is the battlefield, and identity is conquered or claimed in a heartbeat. You step into a conference room. You sit down at a table. But already, the war has begun. Not with swords, but with glances, with the framing of a question, with the tilt of your chin. The true enemy isn't the person across the table. It's the ignorance that blinds you to the nature of the duel. In your everyday life, boardrooms, coffee tables, even a family dinner, power is seized or surrendered in the moment that thought becomes action. This moment, like the first thrust of a chess pawn or the roar of a hunting predator, is when the game is decided. A CEO launches a presentation. A student steps up to debate. A partner frames a disagreement. In that instant, the battlefield unfolds. You're locked in an invisible duel. Every word you speak, every glance you share, every pause you allow is ammunition. Your mind is the general who commands every move. Each breath, a calculated strike. You think others aren't playing a game? They are. They move pieces you don't even see, shift perceptions you didn't know to guard. And if you don't make the first move, you walk into a trap, carefully designed around your hesitation. That is why you must strike first. The opening move is the primer that sets the tone, the first drop of blood that stains everyone else's strategy. Strike with clarity. Strike with intent. Before the world can label you, you label the world. In silence, you command. In a single sentence, you set fire. In a glance, you draw the line of power. The opening move frames reality, not just for you, but for those who watch. This is not mere rhetoric. It is a mandate. Seize the edge, seize the moment, seize the narrative, or be set adrift in a current you cannot conquer the first moment. Few men are brave by nature, but good discipline and experience make many so. Machiavelli's words strike like steel against complacency. Discipline transforms timid thoughts into crowns of power. You sit in the quiet of your mind. There, armies gather without your command, and the war for control begins before your lips form a word. Your mind is the throne. If it's besieged, you've already lost the battle. Every moment, ordinary and unnoticed, the throne is challenged. Your thoughts drift to doubt. A worry sneaks through the ramparts. You hesitate, and immediately, the enemy marches forward. Guard the throne room. Fortify your mental fortress. Discipline your focus as a sentry stands at the gate, alert, unwavering, unyielding. If the walls crumble, the mind follows, and with it, every strategy, every plan inside, the usurper lurks. Doubt, distraction, the soft, familiar voice that whispers that you can't, that you're not ready. They're traitors, cloaked in comfort. They feed on hesitation. You see them clearly when you feel the itch to switch tasks mid-thought, when your attention drifts to your phone's glow. That's them, chipping away at your throne. You must root them out, silence the chatter. Refuse the distraction. Remind yourself, distraction is the whisper of defeat. Then there is clarity, sharp as an arrow's flight. Once the mind is disciplined, once the throne is secure, only then can you rule with precision. When clarity reigns, action becomes decisive. You think, then you move, with absolute purpose. The predator doesn't hesitate. The queen does not second-guess her decree. Clear thought precedes the strike. Imagine yourself sharpening a blade at dawn. The sharpness doesn't emerge by accident. It's forged through deliberate strokes, pressure, repetition. So too is your mind honed through daily discipline. You practice the ritual. Silence, focus, intention. You train until clarity is second nature and doubt is exiled. Stand guard over your imagination. Every idea, every plan, every reaction must pass through the gate of your throne. If it threatens intrusion, deny it. Take control. Strike down uncertainty. Fortify clarity. You are not ruled by your thoughts. You command them. Mind rules all. Everyone who dares to control the day must first claim the battlefield of the morning. Let that truth strike you like the clang of steel. You rise. Before the world stirs, the war has already begun. In those first precious unclaimed hours, you either secure high ground or surrender a position no later motion can reclaim. The battlefield is not distant. It starts with the cusp of dawn. Securing the high ground early means treating your morning like a fortress. Set rituals that anchor your mind. Stand in silence. Breathe with intent. Let the rising light crown your clarity. You align with your own rhythms. Hydration, movement, quiet intention. Neuroscience confirms it. Structured mornings sharpen mental focus, reduce stress, and align your circadian rhythm, fueling energy and mood deep into the day. This isn't fluff. It's strategic terrain control, positioning you several moves ahead before the rest even wake. But the enemy lurks in the glow of your phone. Notifications leap like ambushes. Social media, urgent pings. They are first strikes before you've drawn your sword. Studies warn that opening your phone first thing unleashes cortisol, panic, distraction. Don't let chaos claim the throne. Rule your dawn. Instead, give yourself marching orders. Before distraction roars, command your day. Declare your primary victory, the hardest task, the deepest focus. Psychologists show self-control peaks early. Your will is strongest when the world is quietest. That's no coincidence. That's your greatest weapon. Visualize. You stand atop a hill as dawn breaks. The valley below sleeps. Each breath is a drumbeat of sin. T. You set your strategy. Today's priority. The first strike that will unbalance the battlefield. You do not wait. You charge. Tactical, fierce, uncompromising. Fail to claim the morning, and you begin your campaign chasing fallen ground. Panic, indecision, reactivity. These become your generals. But when you seize the morning, you control the narrative. You command the energy. You define the engagement. Own your dawn. Fortify your rituals. Deny the ambush. Set your plan in stone. Then stride into the world. A general who already knows the victory is theirs. Win at dawn. Never interrupt your enemy while he is making a mistake. Machiavelli's counsel echoes like a blade sliding into enemy flesh. Stillness can be lethal. In a world addicted to reaction, quiet becomes your most formidable weapon. You wait. Not out of fear, but out of force. The predator in the underbrush doesn't leap at first sight. The prey reveals its weakness. That is the predator's lurk. Patience as your crown. Every rushed response hands over your power. Restrain yourself. Let stillness become your throne. Your calm is not passivity. It is psychological dominance. The battlefield shifts when you hold your ground. They move first. Their cues betray them. A blink, a shift, a hesitation in tone. That is silent pressure. You watch intently. You listen. You draw focus like gravity, pulling every microfault into the open. Without a word, your presence forces others to act. They reveal their cards, show their hand, and from there, you strike, not in haste, but with calculation. Then, the calculated strike. History is not kind to impulsive rulers. Machiavelli warns that the cautious succeed when circumstances align. The key is patience paired with precision. You act when the odds tip entirely in your favor. You wait until your blade can make one clean strike that ends the fight. In today's world, That could be the moment you speak in the boardroom, the precise word that shifts tides, or the idea you share after weeks of silence, timed to break the mob's momentum. That is mastery. Imagine the chess master, unmoving at the board, watching your every expression. You twitch. You reveal a plan. He strikes, and your queen falls. You reacted. He shaped. You were the prey. Fail here, and your silence becomes surrender. A rushed move paves your undoing. But flourish here, and you're untouchable. Stillness is not weakness. It is the final form of strength. Stand unmoved. Watch the battle. Let them act. Give themselves away. Then, when the moment is ripe, launch with ruthless precision. Silence wins wars. Power is not just about what you add, but what you remove. Machiavelli's insight slices through illusion. True dominion often demands ruthless subtraction. You stand at the gates of your own empire. Do you widen them to admit every distraction or seal them with fire behind you? Control begins in places you dismantle, not always in what you build. Distractions are like weak supply lines, threadbare connections that siphon your focus, your energy, your authority. You're waging war on multiple fronts. Social media pings, adrenaline-fueled urgency, toxic voices that whisper doubts. Science speaks clearly. Distractions fracture attention and diminish performance, especially when the stakes run deep. To rule your mind, you must cut the weak supply lines. Silence notifications. Refuse irrelevant demands. Let toxic influence wither. You don't negotiate with distraction, you amputate it. Build mental defenses so tight that battlefield noise dies at the walls. Now touch the memory of legendary conquest. In 1519, Hernán Cortés beached his ships upon the Aztec shores, scuttled all escape routes. No retreat, only victory or death. And when Alexander the Great did the same to his fleet, his men understood. There is no turning back, only forging forward. That is burning your ships. It is total commitment through irreversible action. Make your move just like theirs. Destroy the safety nets in your comfort zone. Delete the unneeded. Reject the low value. Sever the habitual. Make your ambitions the only path. Commit so openly, the world sees your resolve and falls in line. Half measures kill momentum. Mercy to distraction is an unmistakable weakness. Letting a toxic habit continue is not compassion. It is strategic surrender. When you allow excuses to linger, when you entertain doubt, that gap widens until the enemy floods in. History remembers leaders like Isaac Hull. When USS Constitution captured HMS Guerriere, he ordered her burned, eliminating distraction and symbolizing decisive mastery. Ruthlessness and clarity. Those are the marks of control. So stand now. Survey the battlefield littered with instruments of your undoing. Sever the flawed. Deny the flimsy. Cut the soft. Commit without retreat. Build your empire not just by forging forward, but by burning every bridge behind you. Command your mind. Conquer your world. Destroy the weak and reign. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Machiavelli's words strike like a blade through illusion, troll perception, and you command the field. You stand in the center of attention, the boardroom, the social gathering, the deal-making arena. Yet, around you, a spotlight glows not on your true self, but on the mask you present. This mask isn't deception, it's command. The first face you show the court is your proposition of power. Composure under scrutiny wins before you even speak. Imagine a monarch entering the throne room, every gesture measured, every movement precise. You must be that monarch. Steady eyes, calm tone, unshakable presence. Others test you through whispers and probing gazes. Do not recoil. Hold your ground. Command respect. by mastering silence, posture, and pause. Behind that mask lies concealed strength. The true arsenal is hidden, tightly coiled, unseen. Machiavelli urged that princes must seem merciful, faithful, humane, but reserve the right to be otherwise when necessity demands it. Let them believe you fair until the moment your strength suffocates resistance. Think of a chess player feigning weakness, inviting you to overcommit, then collapsing you with a knight's strike. Conceal your power until the board is yours. Let the court see only your face, not your blades. And then there is your reputation, sharpened and weaponized. In modern leadership, reputation isn't just an asset. It is the front line of strategy. Think of CEOs whose calm, decisive image compels investor confidence, even when storms brew behind closed doors. Or public figures who silence critics by projecting unswerving resolve, not revealing the conflict beneath. Let your reputation do the heavy lifting for you. Let others fear what they cannot see. Fear is often more reliable than affection, because once they doubt you, they submit. Composure under scrutiny. Mask your strength until the strike. Let reputation fight your battles. These are not idle platitudes. They are tactics for sovereignty. Maintain the mask. Control the gaze. Let them wonder where the real power sleeps, even as it wakes within you. Command the stage. Conceal the blade. Own the legend. Appear. Dominate. Make mistakes of ambition and not mistakes of sloth. Machiavelli's words strike with the force of a drawn blade. Move when hesitation would cost you your crown. You are the assassin within, not a murderer, but the silent force that clears your path with surgical precision. In the battlefield of your life, ideas, opportunities, obstacles, you must strike without delay. Indecision is a luxury you cannot afford. The speed of decision-making is your weapon. Machiavelli prized action. He taught that while all courses carry risk, true prudence is not in evading danger. It is in calculating risk and acting decisively. Think of the chess player who sacrifices a knight without flinching, setting a decisive trap. That snap of action sends chaos cascading through your opponent's defenses. You don't deliberate while the game is played around you. You act first and act fast. But speed alone blunts without precision. You strike only vital points. The assassin targets the nerve, not the flesh. A modern leader doesn't scatter their efforts. You cut through the noise. Prioritize the one challenge that decides the battle. In your life, that could be the critical conversation, the idea you must speak today, the habit to smash before it invites more decay. Target ruthlessly. Strike surgically. Now turn that blade on yourself. Self-directed ruthlessness is the harsh art of mastering your inner chaos. Recognize your flaws, not to wallow, but to execute with discipline. You must excise complacency, weak habits, self-doubt. Imagine sculpting marble. Each chip is deliberate. You don't keep half-formed excuses. You remove them. No exception. No compromise. The penalty for mercy to yourself? A throne taken by weakness. Failure to act, to strike clearly, to purge your own weaknesses. That is what wins battles for your subtlest enemies. Hesitation, distraction, comfort. But if you move swiftly, precisely, against everything that threatens your rise, you become unchallengeable. Make your decisions fast. Aim only at what matters, and butcher your flaws without mercy. Strike clean, rule ruthless. All courses of action are risky, so prudence is not in avoiding danger. It's impossible, but calculating risk and acting decisively. Machiavelli's words blaze like fire at your core. Feed the wolf within with intention, not impulse. You carry a wolf inside, that primal engine of drive, desire, and raw ambition. It hungers for action, for dominance, for purpose. If you starve the wolf, You starve your ambition, but feed it poorly, and weakness grows. Starve the sheep. Deny your lower instincts the resources to grow. Let fear, distraction, and comfort retreat. In modern life, that means refusing the pull of social media scrolls, avoiding small urgencies that fragment your will, and shutting down habitual excuses. Every time you say later to your dreams, you hand energy to comfort and starve ambition. Instead, feed your wolf with real purpose. Hunt with discipline. The predator doesn't rush blindly. He hunts with calculation, with preparation, with focus. Each step toward your goal must be deliberate. In today's world, that means structuring your day with tactical intent. Work deep before distraction finds you. Train your mind to strike at the moment that matters. Invest your energy in the one mission that changes everything. Let the wolf carry strategy, not savagery. And you're not alone in this hunt. True power is not solitary. The wolf travels in a pack. Aligned ideals, shared hunger, mutual vigilance. Modern alliances work the same way. Surround yourself with people who mirror your intensity, who challenge you, who sharpen you. These are your hunters beside you, not followers behind. In evolutionary psychology, humans evolved as social animals. Leaders and followers co-created survival through shared purpose. And while the myth of the alpha wolf has been debunked in nature, we still thrive on collective drive, with elders, mates, loyal allies shaping strength. Let the wolf within be your engine. Starve the sheep. Softness, hesitation, comfort. Hunt with discipline, purpose, strategy, focus. Rally your pack. Kindred spirits who demand more of you. Fail here, and your drive becomes faint howls in the night. Feed your wolf with wisdom, and you lead the hunt. Feed the wolf. Move not unless you see an advantage. Use not your troops unless there is something to be gained. Sun Tzu's words cut through hesitation like a sun-harpened blade. Think 10 moves ahead, or be crushed by the board beneath you. Life is not a playground. It's a war room. Your world is a vast chessboard, and every choice you make is a move with consequences. Consider this. In chess, positioning eclipses immediate might. A pawn sacrificed today might secure the center tomorrow. In life too, temporary loss can become the foundation of long-term advantage. When you let go of comfort, whether it's a safe but unfulfilling job or a familiar routine, you open corridors to power. That is the lesson of position before power. You must sometimes burn armaments to fan the flames of advancement. Now force the opponent's hand. In espionage or high-stakes negotiation, you don't reveal your next move. You create a situation where your opponent plays your game for you. In business, that's seeding rumors to provoke reaction, anticipating their response, and trapping them in a response that suits your agenda. Make them move into your web. Once they act, the board is yours to dominate. Fairness? That's a fool's gambit. The world doesn't reward equity. It rewards effectiveness. Asymmetric tactics define winners. The guerrilla strikes when conventional armies hesitate. The predator attacks at night, exploiting senses not honed to daylight. Your advantage lies not in playing by rules, but bending them until they serve your rise. Picture yourself poised at the edge of the board. You smell the tension. Your every move is a strategic rupture. You trade a pawn, baiting fire. You pressure them into flawed decisions. You control the tempo. Every piece they commit reveals their strategy. You anticipate. You counter. You checkmate. Fail to see beyond the next move, and you will be stuck in tactical blindness. You'll react, not create. But when you act with foresight, manipulate perception, and ignore fairness when it shackles strategy, you become the seen hand that guides the board's destiny. Dominate with foresight. Dictate the response. Win by any strategy required. Think 10 moves ahead. Self-control is like a muscle. When used, it gets tired. Kelly McGonigal's words strike true steel. Willpower weakens under strain, but can be forged into iron through relentless discipline. You stand at the forge. Every day, you face a silent war. The small moment of resistance when your alarm rings. The urge to scroll instead of strategizing. The whisper of comfort urging you to relent. All of these are your daily trials. Psychology confirms this. Willpower is a resource that can fatigue, yes, but also strengthens with repeated exercise. These small acts of controlled hardship, choosing the cold shower, resisting the familiar path, refusing the easy excuse, are your daily drills at the firing pit. You sharpen your will with ritual, not one grand gesture, but the relentless repetition of small discipline. Wake before dawn. Write 3 ruthless lines. Close your eyes for 5 minutes of focus. These are your workouts. Over time, they forge an ironclad will that resists storms, because the true enemy is comfort, the softness that dulls your edge. In ergonomic chairs, soft pillows, familiar habits, your hunger fades. Neuroscience shows us that under stress, the brain defaults to the amygdala, the emotional reactive center, not the steel-willed frontal cortex. Ritual is your armor. Meditation, breath control. These act like anchors in chaos, pulling you back to the ship when waves crash. You make a structure where the world seeks to dissolve you. In chaos, you ground yourself. When crises rise, when the world screams for urgency, your ritual stands firm. You do what others cannot. Start with clarity, focus, momentum. This is your advantage. High stakes demand rituals that transcend comfort. Ordinary souls burn out. You endure. You resist. You build. So engage those trials. Reject soft habits. Anchor yourself. Steel your will. Forge your steel. Men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims for his deceptions. Machiavelli's warning hums through time like the whisper of betrayal, ready to strike. True control demands immunity to manipulation. You stand unmoved at the center of the storm. Around you, chaos and urgency spread like poison. But you no longer react. You hold, because you have built emotional immunity. When nothing triggers you, nothing controls you. That stillness is your throne. Fear, criticism, flattery, chaos, they bounce off. You are unflappable. Your mind is forged, not fragile. You don't react, you respond. You master the inner tides, so the outer always bow to your rhythm. Now, shift into the shadows. You become strategically invisible. You don't fight every battle. You vanish from wars that weaken you. Influence doesn't require visibility. It demands positioning. Like a chess player slipping a knight into place, unseen until it grabs the king. You avoid unnecessary fights. You deploy your energy as precision, not noise. Let others scramble, while you quietly advance. And then you own the game board. You are the architect of the arena, not its prisoner. When you define the terms, you win before any pieces move. You don't bend to others' definitions. You reshape the field itself. This is the crown of true command. They follow the rules you wrote, the frame you set. You aren't fighting to respond. You are defining what counts as fight. Imagine yourself perched on the high ground. Nothing disturbs you. Others rail and stumble beneath as your calm becomes immovable. You bend nothing, not emotion, not chaos, not expectation. You are the sovereign whose will makes the world reorder itself. Within you, no trigger points exist. Around you, the field conforms to your design. Reach this. Be untouchable. Own every battle before it begins. Be untouchable. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. Machiavelli's decree strikes like the final blow from a master strategist. Now all the lessons you've learned converge into ruthless mastery. You stand at the apex, the general who commands every front. This is the moment where your mind as a throne, your dawn rituals, your silent stillness, your ruthless elimination, your mask of command, your inner assassin, your wolfish drive, your chessboard vision, and your iron will converge into a single, unstoppable force. You begin your day like an emperor rising above the battlefield. Your mind is the throne, disciplined, unchallenged, clear. You stand unshaken by distraction, for you eliminated the weak supply lines. You control perception. Your mask grants you command before words are spoken. Your silence pressures. Your strike is surgical. Your inner wolf feeds on purpose, not comfort. You think 10 moves ahead, bending fate to your will. And every trial, every ritual has forged your will into steel. Now picture your world as a multi-front war. On one front, a critical meeting. You enter unmoved, quiet, assured, masked. The room waits for you to strike. On another front, personal doubt whispers. You sit still, observe, then eliminate with precision. On a third, the unknown looms, an unexpected crisis or pivot. You stand ready, anchored by ritual, invisible to chaos, untouchable in your calm. You command all fields. Your composure shapes strategy. Your stealth dictates outcomes. No battle erupts without falling within your design. Your reputation precedes you, a silent army that wins skirmishes you haven't played yet. In public, you are the mask. Behind it, the predator plans the final move. The stakes are absolute. Ascend or remain a pawn. See yourself on that chessboard. Every piece you've advanced, your forged will, your routines, your eliminated distractions, your emotion, null immunity, they coalesce. You stand not as a player, but the architect, reshaping the game itself. You have become the sovereign mind. You do not wait for an opportunity. You command it. You do not react to chaos. You sculpt it. You do not yield to forces. You define them. In this convergence, mastery is not a goal. It is your identity. The throne is your presence, the battlefield of your will. The predator is your focus. You are the commander of all fronts. The game recognizes your hand before it's even played. Command the convergence. Men change their rulers willingly, hoping to better themselves. And this hope drives them to arms, only to discover they've traded one master for another far worse. Machiavelli's warning pulses with that sting of betrayal. Now, the final moment looms. Crown yourself, or be crowned by another. You stand again in that moment from the beginning. Only now, you are not the pawn, waiting for the board to move. You are the monarch who writes the board. The everyday duel, the meeting, the confrontation, the decision, is no longer where power slips through your fingers. It is where your command ripples outward, inevitable and all-consuming. Reflect on what has forged you. Your mind as throne, unassailable, disciplined. Your morning as a battlefield, claimed before the world materialized. The potency of stillness, ambush born in calm, ruthless elimination, blades sharpened on the broken distractions you left behind. The mask you wear, composure under scrutiny, strength cloaked until strike. Inner assassin, swift, precise, remorseless. The wolf within, hungry, focused, fed with intent. The chessboard of life, moves plotted 10 ahead, will forged in ritual, and now all converge. You walk into every room, not just with presence, but sovereignty. You do not wait for chaos, you design it. Your strategy hums beneath the surface. You are unseen, but felt. You have become the force commanding the play. In that duel, you hold the crown. The one who enters hesitant is already losing. You enter aligned, your posture, your thoughts, your will orchestrated for one inevitable outcome. Ordinary souls shatter at the weight. You bend nothing. You yield less. You ascend. There is no middle ground. To surrender your throne, to let comfort, doubt, manipulation reclaim your authority, is to diminish your fate. But to seize your crown in every moment through disciplined ritual, calculated silence, relentless strategy. This is mastery. The cost of failure, being moved by forces you no longer control. The reward, becoming the sovereign of your every domain. So rise, claim your throne, command your existence, crown yourself, or be crowned by another.